What if I told you that the rage-fueled God Slayer Kratos is just like you when you're playing games? You may think it's crazy, but I guarantee you it's not. Tilt is the most common behavior among every gamer. Everyone has experienced tilt in some shape, way, or form. It's even something we commonly make fun of. After playing poker professionally for 4 years and achieving high rank in basically any competitive game I ever played, I can guarantee you that tilt is far more dangerous and destructive than it looks. And in today's video, I'll show you how tilt destroyed Kratos' life, how it can destroy your life, and you'll understand how dangerous it is. But first, you need to understand what tilt really does to you, other than getting you chat restricted. To see its true danger, we have to take a look not at the beginning of Kratos' story, but at the tragic end of his first life. It was supposed to be just another mission. Ares, the god of war, had commanded Kratos to punish a village for worshipping the goddess Athena. For Kratos, the undefeated Spartan general, this was just a routine. As he approached the village temple, killing every innocent in his way, an old oracle told him to not enter the temple, that a great horror awaited him inside. But fueled by his pride and bloodlust that Ares demanded, he kicked down the doors and started slaughtering everyone in the temple. The massacre was swift. When the red mist of his rage finally cleared, he stood in a deafening silence, covered not in the blood of his enemies, but in the blood of his own wife and daughter. That sickening moment of regret, the "why did I do that" feeling, I know it. Not on that mythic scale, of course, but the driving force, the same. When I first started playing poker professionally, I would tilt so easily, lose a few big hands, and I would turn into Kratos, instantly screaming, swearing, and making stupid chaotic plays just to feel a flash of power. And while accidentally killing your family and acting like a bratty child over a game are two completely different things, the difference is only the outcome. The driving force is the same, a complete loss of emotional control. That's the first danger of tilt. It preys on who you are. Kratos was a Spartan trained to be a killing machine, so when he tilted, his rage defaulted to destruction. For us, it's the nasty things we type in chat, the controller we throw, or even the cold shoulder we give our partner after a bad gaming session. It's the poison from game that inevitably starts spilling into our real life. So what is this force that can turn a god or a gamer into a monster? It's just rage? No, it's something more subtle. Tilt isn't an emotion itself. It's a state of mind where one negative emotion, be it rage for Kratos or frustration for me, hijacks your rational brain and takes complete control. And the result is always the same. You make bad decisions that you will regret. But knowing what tilt is one thing. Knowing what tilts you is a whole different game. And for that lesson, we must leave the broken world of Greece and travel to the cold lands of the North. The Kratos we meet in God of War 2018 is a man ashamed of his past, trying to bury the monster he once was. When his son falls mysteriously ill, Kratos is told that the only cure lies in the frozen hell of Helheim, a realm where his icy axe is useless. To survive, he must go home and unearth the very things he swore he would never touch again. The Blades of Chaos. The fiery chain blades that are a permanent physical reminder of his greatest failure. To face your past, you had to be vulnerable, and often you need a guide. For Kratos, it was the memory of his wife, Faye. She was the one who gave him strength to push through. For me, that guide came when I joined a professional team. I was given access to one of the best mindset coaches in the world, Jared Tendler, author of The Mental Game of Poker and coach of dozens of professional athletes. I was like Kratos, ashamed of who I was when tilted. And through a lot of study, I learned that you can't erase your past. You can only understand it and reframe it. And that's what we see Kratos do. When he finally reaches into the dusty trunk and his friend wrap around the blades, he is not the same rage-filled monster from his past. He's a father accepting a painful part of himself in order to save his son. He has reframed his greatest shame into a source of strength. to be wielded with purpose. The benefits of having a clear mind gives them much more advantage than being a tilted God Slayer. So how do we do that? How do we face the blades of our own past and learn to control them without letting them consume us? The secret isn't to destroy your past or pretend your flaws doesn't exist. It's to understand what triggers them and reframe as a source of power. Your rage, your frustration, your pride, these are not weaknesses, they are powerful energies. And like Kratos with his blade, you can either let them control you or you can learn to wield them with a new purpose. But what does it actually look to wield your negative emotions with purpose? Does it mean you become a cold, emotionless robot? Do you become untiltable? For me, the most powerful moments in God of War 2018 are not the boss fights. The most powerful moments are the small, quiet tests of Kratos' newfound control. There's a moment when Atreus, in a fit of arrogant rage, turns and fires an arrow right into Kratos' chest. The old Kratos, the ghost of Sparta, would definitely end him on the spot for that disrespect. But the new Kratos? He gets angry. You see the rage flash in his eyes. You see the monster he's trying to contain, but then he chooses to be a father, not a destroyer. That control is a superpower. I learned it in the poker table. Before, I was convinced the game was rigged, everything was against me, and I would let frustration take over me. But my coach taught me one simple, brutal truth. The cards aren't personal, it's just math and variance. And when you stop making it about you, you become more resistant to tilt. Kratos learned that same lesson. Freya's deception and Atreus' actions weren't about Kratos, they were about their own pain. And that understanding that's not always about you is the final key to managing tilt, not just in game, but in life. Here's the final lesson from the God of War: becoming untiltable is not possible. You will always feel anger, frustration, and injustice. The goal is not to stop feeling, the goal is to build your tolerance so high that those feelings no longer control your actions. So that will make it way harder for you to get tilted. And the secret to that one simple shift in perspective is stop taking it personally. Your fitting teammate isn't trying to ruin your day, they are just having a bad game. So yeah, it's not Riot or Valve trying to make you stay in the elo or rank you are right now. It just happens. It's the nature of the game. When you realize it's not about you, tilt loses its power and you gain a strategic advantage not only in game, but in your relationships, in your career, in your life, because you learn to control the blades of chaos instead of letting them control you. But tilt is different for everyone, and tilt could come from making mistakes or being afraid of failing, for example. If that's something you struggle with, the fear of failure, then the next step in your journey is to watch this video right here. In it, we'll use the story of Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3 to show you not just how to face your fear of failure, but how to turn it into your greatest strength.